Welcome along to Transfer Centre. It's getting close now, isn't it? Not much more than 24 hours to go until the January transfer window closes. 11 p.m. tomorrow night, remember. But Newcastle United fans may yet get the big money transfer that they are craving.
Huge night in the Premier League too. Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool can take a big stride towards the title with a win over Leicester. He's been told he won't be sold this month, but will Callum Hudson-Odoi start tonight for Chelsea at Bournemouth? Spurs need a win in their bid to secure Champions League qualification. Will Heung-min Son return to their lineup to face Watford? And it's the end of the road for Neil Lennon at Hibernian. We're live to Edinburgh for more on the news that broke in the last half hour.
All that to come. We're counting down. Look at that. 1 day, 5 hours to go until the window shuts. We're going to start right now, though, with some rare but good news for Newcastle United fans up in the northeast in this transfer market. Good news coming your way right now, because Newcastle are tonight on the very verge of breaking their 14-year-old transfer record. Let's get more on this and go to my colleague Keith Downey, who's got all the good news for us tonight at St James's Park. Keith, good evening to you. What's the latest then on this deal to sign the Paraguayan forward Almiron?
Well, I can tell you, Jim, that Miguel Almiron is here on Tyneside. He's spent the last hour or so in St James's Park behind me, meeting some of the staff and beginning his medical. We had some exclusive pictures on Sky Sports News earlier on this afternoon of Almiron, the Paraguay international, arriving by helicopter at around 2:30 this afternoon, flanked by his representatives. And to meet representatives of Newcastle United, he was then taken up to the training ground, here to the stadium, and as I say, he is now undergoing his medical. It's a club record fee, as you say, Jim. It's my understanding the fee for him is £21 million and rising. Now, this is a player that Rafa Benitez has been keen after for some time. He's looked at him throughout the whole window, and he's made it clear to Mike Ashley that he is his #1 target. It looked, as the clock was ticking down, that he wouldn't get his man, but he has, and Almiron is here in Newcastle. Now, he's made his name in the MLS. Many describe him as the top player, the best player in the MLS. And as much as Newcastle are breaking their transfer record, so too are the MLS. They will rake in a transfer fee that is the biggest in their history with Almiron's move here to Newcastle United. As you say, Michael Owen, way back 2005, 16.8 million he arrived here at Newcastle at St James's Park that time. But Almiron is the new name on the lips, and this is the Newcastle United fans who I spoke to earlier on today about their new arrival.
Finally spending a bit of money. It's probably more than we've spent in the last 3 seasons or something, so yeah, can only mean good things. I hope he does well for the club.
The man's a businessman, you know. Why does he want to spend money? With that 21 million, are they going to finish any higher up in the league table as what they were last year? So will his 21 million get him any money back? I don't think so.
Very good. It might keep the manager there. You know, that's what you want. You want a bit of new blood. They did very well last night. It was kind of a once-off. They have to keep that going.
You know, Newcastle fans, Keith, they've waited so long. As you rightly say, you've got to go all the way back to when Michael Owen signed for Newcastle United from Real Madrid. And that was the time that they set their new record. And as you rightly say, so many years have passed. You could see the excitement that day. Now, we're not saying they are as excited and animated today, but my goodness, those great fans have had to wait a long time.
Yeah, Jim, I mean, I've been working here in the Northeast for some 5.5 years, and I've not seen any transfers like this. It's Newcastle have kind of managed to stagger from one transfer window to another to try and get enough to keep them up. Of course, I've seen them relegated in that time, but it does look, in terms of Almiron and the other business that they're trying to do, that Mike Ashley and the club are trying to keep Rafa Benitez happy, I suppose, in the hope that he signs his new contract, because of course that contract has been on the table since last summer and he is yet to sign it. In terms of other transfers, Jim, I can tell you that Antonio Barreca, the Italian left-back who plays for Monaco, has arrived here on Tyneside in the last hour to have his medical as well. So he joins Almiron in the northeast as Newcastle try to push through those two deals. That's a loan deal until the end of the season. £1 million for Barreca and a loan deal with an option to buy in the summer, as I understand it, for £9 million. In addition to that, Rafa Benitez keen to bring in a midfielder as well. Isaac Hayden, who was terrific last night in the 2-1 win over against Manchester City, has made it clear that for family reasons he would like to return further south in the country. And I can tell you Newcastle are in talks with Samaras, Andreas Samaras, the Greek international 29-year-old. We could yet see him here on Tyneside before the window closes tomorrow night. So that's two possible players who could arrive here. But the big one is Miguel Almiron, £21 million. We saw him arriving in style by helicopter this afternoon. He is here, he's on Tyneside, and he's currently undergoing his medical.
Great news, Keith. Thanks very much indeed.
So Almiron was key to Atlanta's success in the MLS last season. Here's a look at how they used the Paraguayan. Well, the vast majority of the time he had been used as a central attacking midfielder in a 4-2-3-1 formation. This is what he looks like as well. He's fairly versatile too, left-footed. He's been used as a left-sided central midfielder. That's tended to be when Atlanta used a 3-5-2 or 4-1-4-1 formation. He also played some games on the wing as well, and a few games up front alongside the league's leading goal scorer in 2018, Josef Martinez. But he's also chipped in with the goal scoring too, so a very versatile player.
Villalba, they back away from Villalba here. Back to the edge of the area. Almiron can pick his spots and does brilliantly! How about that for a strike? That's what he can do. Arrow-like into the corner, and Atlanta have two.
Now to what could be a huge night for the destiny of the Premier League title. Jurgen Klopp was adamant that Liverpool would only be 1 point clear ahead of Manchester City, ahead of their game with Leicester tonight. Look at that, after City's shock defeat at Newcastle, the gap remains 4. It could even be up to 7 later this evening. What can we expect at Anfield as Liverpool take on a side that has already beaten the champions and Chelsea this season?
They are not that much a counter-attacking side anymore than they have been in the past. But of course, it's a massive threat. So, and we all had these situations. If you play against teams, they don't give you a lot of space or whatever, then it's not too comfortable. And a lot of teams struggle with that. We expect a very dangerous opponent. That's how it is. And because they have quality, if we can go through the team, that's a super team. It will not be easy as well. Like the last game was not easy, but it's all about, what can I say? Squeezing everything out of the players, and that we can really perform good enough to win that game.
Now, could this be a concern for Klopp? Actually, only Andy Cole and Thierry Henry have scored more Premier League goals against Liverpool than Jamie Vardy.
Jamie is a fantastic striker, really. And you can see each fibre of his body is really always on this decisive situation. He always waits for the balls over shoulder. Now he's, I think, is more involved in defending, meanwhile, than he maybe was in the past. But brings him in another situation, doesn't make it easier to defend him, to be honest. So it's really he's a massive threat.
This might just show the task facing Vardy and Leicester tonight against clubs outside the Big Six. Liverpool have dropped 0 points. But as we mentioned earlier, Leicester have caused a couple of upsets this season, not least with victory over Manchester City in December.
It will be a fantastic challenge for us, for the team. And to create an upset, I think is a good thing also, because it's less pressure. I think in my play, because they can give their best with freedom, without waiting the 3 points. And in this situation, we can create the upset.
Let me tell you, it is beginning to rumble because the deadline tomorrow night, 11 o'clock, Arsenal. And we knew this would happen, but they've been busy today and making serious moves ahead of tomorrow night's deadline. Yeah, we can do this now. We have breaking transfer news. We're going to go live now to the Emirates. It's all happening. Jane Dougal, tell me, what do you know?
Jim, in the last few minutes, it has been confirmed by Barcelona that Denis Suarez will join Arsenal on loan for the remainder of the season with an option for them to buy, and that's reportedly for £20 million. Now, we understand that the Premier League club will pay the player's salary during this time, and also that Denis Suarez's contract with Barcelona has been extended until 2021. So the club obviously protecting their asset there before there is the option to buy. Now, the Barcelona midfielder has been with the club since 2013, but he's only played 8 times this season with just 4 starts, so obviously looking to get more football, more playing time, and hopefully to get that with Arsenal. The Barca head coach Ernesto Valverde had been quoted as saying, the deal is not official yet, but it was something all parties wanted, and let's hope it goes well. So that was yesterday, so we knew it was on the cards. In the last few minutes we've had confirmation it is definitely happening. The 25-year-old is already known to Unai Emery because he played under him when he was on loan to Sevilla when Emery was in charge of the La Liga side. That was a few years ago, and perhaps to solidify these reports even further, which we knew, Barca announced yesterday that Suarez wasn't going to be in their squad for tonight's Copa del Rey second leg of their quarter-final against Sevilla because they knew that the player was looking to resolve his future. And as I said, they have confirmed that he will not be taking any further part in Barcelona's plans for this season. So what could he bring to Arsenal? Well, he's a very versatile midfielder. He's happy playing in the centre but also out on the left. And he already knows the league as well. This will not be his first time in England because he played for Manchester City as a teenager between the years 2011 and 2013. That was under Roberto Mancini. But the breaking news in the last few minutes, it has been confirmed by Barcelona that Denis Suarez will join Arsenal on loan until the end of the season with an option to buy.
Jane, forgive me, I've got a feeling of deja vu here because I remember the headline Suarez for Arsenal, but that one didn't happen. That was Luis Suarez. Now Denis Suarez has indeed joined. So that's good news for Arsenal and Unai Emery tonight. Anything else in the pipeline that you are hearing down there?
Well, perhaps not down here, but according to Sky in Italy, Arsenal are also reportedly in talks for the Belgian winger Yannick Carrasco, and he's currently playing for the Chinese side Dalian Yifang. Apparently he's not happy in China. He would welcome a move to the Premier League. Whether that will still go ahead or not following the Denis Suarez move, we don't know. And also, we know that talk about Carrasco came about because Arsenal's interest was piqued when it became quite clear that Ivan Perisic moving to the club started to look unlikely in this window anyway. So we understand that Arsenal's attentions turned to Yannick Carrasco. And as I said, he's unhappy currently in the Chinese league, looking for a move to the Premier League. Whether that will go ahead or not, we will find out tomorrow. But we know for definite that it will be Denis Suarez as a midfielder who will be coming to the Emirates.
Jane, good stuff. Thanks for that. Denis Suarez in at Arsenal.
Yes, back to news from the Premier League. Gonzalo Higuain is set to make his league debut tonight for Chelsea at Bournemouth with Callum Hudson-Odoi also pushing for a start there as well. Head coach Maurizio Sarri this week said he would not be sold in this window. Sarri says winning more league games is key for his side now.
We need to improve. We can improve. We need to improve, especially when we have to play the normal match, because I think that in Premier League there are not normal match. Everything is so difficult. It's very difficult to win against every team. So I think that we need to improve in that.
I love the way he wears his specs. I do that. Chelsea lost to Arsenal in the last Premier League match, and after that defeat, Sarri claimed his players were hard to motivate. So what does Bournemouth boss Eddie Howe make of that?
Well, I've never seen a problem when we've played them in terms of their motivation, and I think they've got outstanding individual players, and I think when you have outstanding individual players, they wouldn't get to that level if they're not mentally very, very good as well. So every team has good games and bad games within a season. We've been there ourselves this season, and we know that, we said before, to get results against these type of teams, we have to be at our very best, and hope maybe Chelsea have an off day.
Tottenham striker Heung-min Son is available for tonight's game at home to Watford.
South Korea's quarter-final exit, of course, from the Asian Cup. It's a surprise in itself, but it's freed him up now, and he could start in the absence of the injured Harry Kane.
I think it's not good. Today was good in the training, and maybe after the game, the third game that played in between Dubai and Emirates, he felt empty because was so disappointed. But of course, here he's happy, and today was with very good energy. We are going to decide if he's going to play from the beginning or maybe he's going to be on the bench. But I am very optimistic because today he showed very good energy on the training session.
Watford boss Javi Gracia won't be taking Tottenham lightly, though, despite the absence of Kane and Dele Alli. Gracia made 11 changes for the FA Cup win over Newcastle at the weekend. He's got no fresh injury concerns to contend with that he knows of.
I think always it's difficult to play against Tottenham, always, because they are a very good team, very good squad, and they have different options. I know they have injured players, and after losing their chances in FA Cup, in Carabao Cup, maybe they will be very, very focused on the next game, and then I don't know if it help us or not.
Now, Southampton take on Palace tonight. Both sides are 3 points above the relegation zone. Palace are above Southampton, but only on goal difference.
Palace go into the match at St Mary's on the back of Sunday's FA Cup victory over Tottenham. Southampton have won their last 2 league games.
There's always going to be a difficult game, and the fact that they're in a good moment in terms of confidence, having got some good results in the last 2 or 3 games, that makes the tie that bit more difficult.
It's a very good manager, I think, has a very clear plan, and the team showed that also against the big teams they are not unbalanced in any time of the game, so it will be a tactical very interesting game.
And tune into Soccer Special for updates on all 4 of tonight's Premier League fixtures, including Liverpool against Leicester. We'll also have the latest from the Scottish Premiership and Scottish Cup, plus transfer updates too.
Now, what are the chances of Neymar being fit to face United in the Champions League next month? Big news on him regarding his fitness coming up.
Shot you down, bang, bang. You hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. I used to shoot you down.
Wasps are your Vitality Netball Super League champions.
Britain's got a new golfing star, Georgia Hall, major champion.
Music played and people sang. Just for me, the church bells rang.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Katie Taylor!
Bang, bang. He shot me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. My baby shot me down. Oh, shot me down. Shot me down, 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 down.
County Netball Super League champions.
Britain's got a new golfing star, Georgia Hall, major champion.
Music played and people sang. Just for me, the church bells rang.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Katie Taylor!
Bang, bang, he shot me down. Bang, bang, I hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, my baby shot me down. Oh, shot me down. Shot me down, 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 down.
To leave Hibs in Edinburgh after coming to an agreement with the football club. So what's this all about? Let's get more now from the man who's been following it very closely for us. Luke Shanley is outside the stadium at Easter Road. Luke, good evening, mate. What can you tell us?
Jim, very good evening to you from a cold Easter Road. Yes, the club have confirmed that Neil Lennon and his assistant Gary Parker have left the club by mutual agreement. And in the statement, they have said that they have not been dismissed and have not resigned. The club also confirms that neither Neil nor Gary have been guilty of misconduct or wrongdoing, and no disciplinary process has commenced. So that key there, because remember, they were suspended on Friday, and some of the players after the game on Sunday saying they were shocked by that. The meeting that they had was heated, but nothing untoward. And the club said that suspension was lifted as part of this agreement, but Gary, Neil and the club felt that it was in the best interest of all parties that they left the club. Now, Rod Petrie, the Hibernian chairman, has had to say this on the club's website. We are grateful to Neil and Gary for their efforts, in particular for leading the club back to the top flight of Scottish football. He goes on to wish them all the best. Neil Lennon has said he would like to thank the board, the coaching staff, the players and all the fans for making the last 2.5 years so enjoyable. A few good moments, certainly, more than that for Hibernian fans under Neil Lennon, getting promotion back to the top flight. Also a couple of good derby wins at Ibrox as well. Neil Lennon unbeaten as Hibernian head coach at Ibrox, unbeaten here against Celtic Park at Easter Road. So, against Celtic at Easter Road. So there are key moments that Hibs fans will remember, but Neil Lennon and Gary Parker have left the club tonight.
It's interesting. I mean, both parties giving the impression that peace is broken out. But what I want to know is where it leaves Hibs now. What do they do next?
Well, they're sitting 7th in the Scottish Premiership, 5 points off a top 6 place. St Johnstone have a game in hand. That's tonight at Celtic Park. And Hibs will want to push into that top 6. There's no doubt about that. They'll need a new head coach going forward. I would imagine that Eddie May and Grant Murray will continue to be in temporary charge. They have Aberdeen here on Saturday, so it's not an easy game going into that one. Aberdeen going well. So Hibernian will want to push for that top 6 place. It's maybe, given they finished last season under Neil Lennon in 4th with a record points tally of 67, then they would expect to be in the top 6 this season, but other teams doing so well, so they will need to get a move on. And also they'll want to bring players in a day to go in the deadline. It's a midnight deadline in Scotland tomorrow, and Hibs certainly have been sounding out players. They want to add a few more to their squad, and they might need that, but with no head coach in place, I don't know if that muddies the waters, but certainly they will want to make an appointment quickly.
Luke, for the moment, thanks very much. Well, it was a pretty eventful tenure at Hibs, as Luke was alluding to for Lennon. Here's a look back at his time at Easter Road. plenty of goings-on. Lennon was appointed Hibs manager in June 2016, 3 months after he left Bolton Wanderers. Now, in his first season in charge, he led Hibs to the Scottish Championship title and promotion back to the Scottish Premiership after a 3-season absence. So it was going well. The fans were loving it. In September 2017, Neil agreed to extend his contract until 2020. And that appeared to have the desired effect because Hibs were bang in contention to finish second heading into the final weeks of the season. But defeat to Craig Levine's Hearts in the Edinburgh Derby finished any chance of that happening. Lennon said after the game that he was considering his future with concerns over the club's ambition. Hibs went on to finish fourth, ending the season with an incredible 5-5 draw against Rangers. A game made even more memorable by Lennon's aeroplane celebration after the final goal. A frustrating summer, though, would follow. Key players like John McGinn left the club. He went to Villa. And there were then unsavoury scenes in the first Edinburgh Derby of the 2018-19 season. There he was, struck by a coin at Tynecastle. He hit the deck. Hibs boss declared that he was considering his position after what he said was a racist attack. Neil Lennon's final win in charge came against his former club Celtic at Easter Road. That was back in mid-December. Now, Darren McGregor's late equaliser on Boxing Day maintained his impressive unbeaten run at Ibrox during his time as Hibernian head coach. Defeat to Motherwell on January the 23rd, though, proved to be Lennon's final game in charge. He was suspended by the club 2 days after that, pending a club investigation. Today, Hibs say he's now left Easter Road. Neil Lennon's overall win rate at Hibs stands at just over 48%, which is remarkably good. Over the last couple of decades, only 2 managers have had a higher win rate. Alan Stubbs with 59%, Tony Mowbray with 48.1%. But Hibs' win rate this season has been their worst under Lennon at just under 39%. In his first season, they won more than half of their games and they were promoted to the Scottish Premiership. So it started well, ended badly.
Now, the Air Accidents Investigation Branch has told us 2 seat cushions that have been found in Normandy are likely to have come from the missing plane carrying Emiliano Sala and pilot David Albertson.
An underwater search targeted 4 square miles area of the English Channel, and it's going to begin this weekend. It's going to take up to 3 days.
They're targeting an area of 4 square miles now. When last known radar position, flight plans, the fact of where some of this debris has been found on the beaches now, they've got a better idea of where they think this plane is. As the harbour master at Guernsey said just before the weekend, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, and sometimes trying to find it when you don't know where the haystack is. They've now been given a little bit of evidence that could really help them going for where at least they maybe know where the haystack is now. And they're going to look for it now with this specialist equipment. It's going to be an underwater survey of the seabed. Its mission to locate and identify possible aircraft wreckage.
Well, Salah remains in the thoughts of his Cardiff teammates. Fans and players from the Welsh club and Arsenal showed their appreciation at the Emirates last night with a period of applause.
Very difficult in these circumstances, but obviously thinking about of the family, all Emiliano friend and family. It was a very, very difficult week for the whole club, and in a way we were glad the game came in so we can put our mind to something else. But it was a very, very difficult week, and it was very emotional last night. None of us experienced anything like that before, so it was a case of being here for each other, making sure everyone's all right. Everyone was very, very down. I never see the dressing room that quiet. We had 2 days off because we couldn't train. Emotionally, it was very, very difficult. The gaffer brought someone else, someone in the building if you need to talk, to make sure people get players and staff and everyone get it out of their mind. And I think a few of the lads did that because it was needed, and it's very, very difficult. Still now it's very difficult to talk about it.
Let's get at this stage tonight, 5:30, big boost tonight for Manchester United's hopes of progressing in the Champions League. Neymar is going to miss both games when they face PSG in the last 16. Of course, he's the world's most expensive player. He's going to miss up to 10 weeks with a metatarsal injury he picked up last weekend against Strasbourg. The games between United and PSG are going to take place on February the 12th and March the 6th, with the first leg at Old Trafford, but Neymar misses both.
Celtic can go 6 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership this evening. We'll hear from Brendan Rodgers ahead of their game against St Johnstone.